Hello, live long and prosper. Where? Oh, there it is. Gotten chunky. All right. Hello, welcome back to kind of watch through of Next Generation, Star Trek Next Generation. We are on episode 6, The Lonely Among Us. This, I was actually surprisingly pleased with this episode rewatching it. While the makeup is fairly, it's a little bit more old school. It's rubber mask type things. It's not overly sophisticated. The story is actually much more in line with kind of what I think of as classic Next Generation writing. So there's a plot and there's a subplot. Beautiful, nuanced, right? To a certain extent. We're not going to get super deep here, but we talk about things actually. So the beginning plot, which is actually the subplot, is that the Enterprise is picking up 2 species from various planets who are in negotiation talks. They are going to be taken to Parliament, and they're going to have these talks. These 2 species hate each other. One is sort of mammalian and one is reptiloid, and just hate each other. There's a lot of side comments, and this is where sort of the critique of modern sort of things, that these groups just will not get along. They won't. And they argue about stupid things. There's this sort of throwaway line that there's very much like we used to be in the past, where they argue about political systems and even economic systems. Like how in the world could they possibly do this? I very much took this as a critique. I think the expectation was that the critique was against sort of the geopolitical situation of countries not getting along, but I very much see it in 2020, an election year, as even just political parties not wanting to get along at all. They feud with each other. There's they're playing hide and seek. They're hunting each other literally on the Enterprise, and in fact, this plot line ends with Yar saying that there's a pool of blood outside one of their quarters, and the chef has just been ordered to prepare reptile, and it looks very much like the delegate that is missing. So and then they just leave it there. It's like, okay, great. This is where things are. The plot itself, a little bit more interesting, a little bit more kind of Star Trek-y, is that the Enterprise, on their way to Parliament, encounter this nebulous cloud and take on what eventually turns out to be a sentient energy pattern that goes from person to person. There's an accidental death of somebody in engineering, goes through the computer and eventually ends up with Jean-Luc and realizes how to kind of like communicate, and so semi takes him over, semi sort of merges with him, but really kind of takes over. And then through Picard brings the Enterprise back to the Oort cloud to then release it, with the hope that Picard will come with him, actually, or it, and actually succeeds in that. Picard beams off of the ship and becomes an energy field for a little while. Eventually they get him back, but it's him before he was actually beamed away, which doesn't quite work. I'm not sure about that, but anyways, that's kind of the idea of the episode. So some good stuff like plot, subplot. There's some interesting character things. We have really great work as far as Patrick Stewart, of course, Sir Patrick Stewart does, just acting differently and yet the same. A little bit of a glimpse more into Picard's wanderlust, his desire to explore and grow, and you almost understand that this is the thing that this energy field kind of gloms onto and says, yes, you can do that, and we can do that together if we're energy, and that sort of thing. So that's interesting. This is the first time Data is introduced to Sherlock Holmes, and so there's a wonderful sort of comedic point. I mean, Brent Spiner is amazing in this, where he's using this sort of Sherlock Holmesian deductive reasoning, and he's holding onto a pipe and all this sort of stuff. Good stuff as far as that. So yeah, I think it was a very good episode. I like the plot subplot sort of thing, having multiple things going on, because again, Star Trek does deal with some very deep things, but it doesn't tend to deal deeply with them. And so when you're kind of stretching things out, the first several episodes where we really only have one plot, one sort of idea that is being thought about or explored, there tends to be a lot of filler and sort of like stuff that just is not necessary to bring that idea across. I think the plot subplot sort of thing, you can get in those digs at how dare you have these arguments about economic systems, without making it preachy, without making it having the whole rest of the story be about that. So excellent episode, The Lonely Among Us, episode 6. So I enjoyed it. Hope you did as well, or do if you're going to watch this after. I'm not sure if you watched these before or after, or if anybody actually watches them, but that's okay. They're fun to do anyway. So peace and long life, and I will see you later. And I already said that. Like this video, share it with someone else, click on the subscription and the notification button, and I'll see you next time. Engage. Oh, wow, that's better. I should do that. All right, bye.